on the previous episode.
Woo! She's in, boys! Let's go, buddy! Yo, what is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. We are back with the 135 here at CES Motorsport. Today we are putting in the BAYOPTIKS headlights into the 135. We got a lot of other stuff that we need to touch on this car. It's far from finished driving, which is good, but we have a lot more little stuff to do. So these are kind of similar to what I ran on the M2. These ones, you have to do a little bit of coating on them. We'll see what it looks like when we actually plug them all in. But you do have to download the app as well in order to change the colors. Now the reason that I have these so I'm able to change the colors is so I can run pure white, and then I can also run kind of like a throwback, a little bit yellow, and then Cademan wants pink. So he wanted to see what this car would look like with pink headlights, so we're going to do all the colors. For us, it's a little bit different. If you guys are installing these, obviously, on your car, you would have had to have taken off the headlights, which means the bumper would have came off. We are in the process of reassembling this entire car, so everything is already off for us. We have some things laying around, but what we're going to have to do is put in these brackets first, and then go ahead and throw in the headlights and then put on the bumper. But this will be the first time that we actually see the car pretty much like all together, so it really does look like a freaking car. It's gonna be pretty crazy. We did a little bit of work this morning, working on a PCV solution until I get a catch can set up. I also ordered the Turner Motorsports coolant tank relocator, which puts it over here, and then it also has a bracket that comes off of the Turner tank that allows for the power steering reservoir to sit on. Just a lot cleaner setup. Then we have some other things coming. I have the BMS filters coming for up top, and yeah, we're just gonna kind of button the rest of the shit up on this car. We have the beauty cover obviously to put on, and then we are waiting on one more thing. We need the master cylinder. We had to order a new master cylinder, so we're waiting for that. Then we have to rebleed the clutch, and we're gonna actually run this coolant hose right here a little bit differently as well, because it's super close to the pulleys. I think over time that might end up being an issue. Once we get the new tank and all of that, then we'll relocate everything, kind of move things around. This FTP charge pipe is a little bit like wonky. The angle of it is kind of weird, and it makes things fit kind of strange. So just a heads up if you want to order that, it's a little bit different. And we also have the headlight level sensor that we got to put on, and then we have an air temp sensor, the ambient air temp sensor that we got to put on, which I think actually goes like right there. So yeah, just a lot of like little shit, and then we have all the interior we have to put back together. But we're getting close, man. Getting close. I might order some, as you guys know, I'm doing the 1M conversion, but I might order some wheels for the meantime. I don't know what to get. Probably some Apexes, something simple. Okay, here they are. Both the headlights out of the box. Carbon fiber eyebrow, switchback up top, LED rings. Kept it pretty classic with these. Smoked out everything, blacked out everything, different bulbs. They did a great job. So the way that these work, it looks like this is the receiving side, and then this is the penetrating side. Hey, yo! No, but these wires on this side will actually cross over to these wires, and that's what you need to do in order to power that side, the switchback and everything. So I swear to God. All right, so we are, of course, reassembling the car. Just trying to make sure that we have all the right parts, because, again, a lot of the stuff we didn't have before, and we're just trying to see what we do have. But this is the bracket that holds the headlight, and then trying to finesse this thing in there. And then that, oh, so these will have to come out? Here. We got a tab that's broken right here, so we're gonna have to glue that. They did a really good job with these, though. It's like brand new glass up front, it's super clean. Very, very nice job. Oh, dude, leave it on, bro. Oh, I see. It's here. There we go. Solid. So this is the only broken tab that we have, but honestly, man, this thing's freaking in there. It's tight, so we're good. This one was broken before, but they fixed it. I guess that's pretty common with these. All right, we got the headlights are in and mounted. Probably go ahead and run this wire. We gotta run this wire just right in here, over to here. All right, so we got the two headlights connected to one another, and then we'll loom this and tuck it in back here so it's nice and connected flush. Technically, we could turn them on and see if they're working. Should probably do that. We'll have to do some coating, I think. These are gonna go nuts for a minute. We get to do some coating. Oh shit! Not flickering or anything. Ooh, those are clean, bro. Yeesh. I just replaced the headlight level sensor. This was missing. And then we are actually cutting out this resonator right here. A few reasons. One, it hits the drive shaft. For whatever reason, this thing is just too big, and everything is mounted up correctly. The hangers are right where they need to be. Who knows, maybe the downpipes are sending it a little too high. I don't think that is the case though. This thing is just too massive. And I also think that this exhaust is a little bit tame. So we're gonna snip, and run straight through, eliminate this primary resonator, and basically just have the rear section muffler in here, and then pull these tips out a little bit and send it like that. This thing is like super quiet, so I'm like, fuck it, let's just get rid of this secondary piece. Upon doing my research, if you guys want to run a actual true like 1M exhaust, you need to actually relocate the battery so you can run both dual exits. So I don't know if we'll do that or how we'll do it, but obviously that's way down the line. We don't have to worry about that right now. Other things we're going to do, we're going to change the suspension a little bit in the back. The previous owner had like a drag pack set up in the rear, and so the back is sitting super high up to make up for some chunky boys, which we are not doing. So we're gonna move this up a little bit, the sleeve up a little bit, and bring it a little bit closer to the ground. I do have the whole front clip on the car, but I don't want to show you guys yet. We're gonna drop the car once we finish all this stuff up, and then show you what we're dealing with. Yo, crazy to see this thing together. I've got the covers right here. I put those on later. I'm gonna wait until I do a little one step on the front. All right, we're gonna see how this sounds now. Just didn't sound that great yesterday with the second resonator. Do some coating. Everything that we're going to be coating is going to be in the footwell module. We got to turn off the cold and warm voltage checking, and then code off the corner bulbs so that they only turn on when signaling. Alright, so I basically turned off the side markers, cornering lights, and then turned off all the check controls, and that should be good as far as like voltage and everything. Should be good then, we shouldn't get any weird errors, and it shouldn't flicker at all. And then I'll show you guys on the app how we can change the colors of the headlights. So we're gonna have to mess with this right now. That's what it's doing. Yellow's kind of dope though. Without all of the weird like goofy flickering, it would be cool. So I'm just messing with it, dude. You can go with your ear and literally just like, you can change it to anything you want. That's Cademan spec, dude. That's the Cademan spec, bro. The white. You can do like CS. You could do like yellow. That's more like old school. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to basically disconnect it. So we don't want the halos to be connected to the switchbacks in the eyebrows. So that's what we're trying to figure out. There's so many things you can do with this. So we're just trying to like mess around with it and figure it out. There has to be a way though. We'll pull over up here and see what it looks like from the outside. Dude, these turbos are loud. Holy shit. Exhaust sounds better, I think.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think so. They have 2 mufflers on them.
Yeah. I think it sounds a lot better.
Shake on.
What is up, guys? It is a new day. We are home. We have the 135 in the garage with us. We're gonna go ahead and end this video. I had gotten to the point where I just wanted to get the car finished and bring it home. So I'm gonna bring you guys up to speed and show you everything that we've done so far. And then also, of course, show you the new headlights and the whole front end, the whole car put together. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up next. Quite a bit has happened since the beginning portion of that video. So I have been driving this thing constantly. I have to put in a couple hundred miles to break in the brand new clutch. It does have a MHD base map tune on it from CD919. It is a multi-map, so I have 93 and E40, but we haven't really touched any serious boost yet. I haven't done any data logging because we need to break in that clutch. So I've just been cruising around, just been enjoying the car for what it is. But before we get into any of that, I want to talk a little bit about everything that I've done up to this point. So we obviously fixed the exhaust or changed it over at CES Motorsport. Cademan did a fantastic job. It sounds so much better. It's a little bit louder, not too crazy, but just a little bit louder. I can still hear my turbos, still hear my blow-off valve, but the exhaust note is a little bit more rowdy. And you might notice that the car looks a lot shinier than it did when it was in the shop. The previous condition of this car was really, really rough. I mean, this thing sat for 2 years, inside, outside, things bumping into it. So the paint needed a ton of care and a ton of attention. I didn't want to pay a detailer to just do this whole car because honestly, it's going to get painted. There are a lot of things when we go to the real OEM 1M conversion. You're cutting fenders, you're changing the entire front end. You might as well just repaint the entire car at that point. So everything is basically brand new and it looks seamless. And that's what we're going to end up doing when we get to that point. But for the time being, I wanted to make this car look really good while we get everything performance-wise situated, braking, suspension, all of that stuff. So I actually took it upon myself to do my very first paint correction and full ceramic detailing on my own. I do have a rather cheap buffer and I just bought this online. I think I got it on Amazon. It's nothing crazy, but I bought that and then I went out and got some products for actually polishing the car and just taught myself. I figure if this car is getting repainted, this is probably like the perfect car to learn on. The front end has a lot of little chips on it that are just obviously paint correction isn't gonna fix that. Those are flaws that are gonna be there until I get the thing repainted. But dude, I am really proud of myself. I did a very good job on actually bringing this car back to life from where it was. And I know it's probably not that easy to tell on camera. This thing was in rough shape. I mean, there were surface scratches and swirls all over the entire thing. It is now completely smooth. It looks really freaking good. So I took about 8 hours to paint, correct, and ceramic coat this entire car. There are some little dings on the car. I gotta have my dent guy come out and take care of those. But man, she looks awesome so far. Really, really happy with it. You can see the new tip placement, not too bad. I need to adjust it over a little bit. Pretty happy with that for right now. And then we also brought the car a little bit lower down to the ground. I would bring the car outside right now, but Hurricane Ian has decided to visit us. Thoughts and prayers to anyone who has been affected by it. It's not really affecting us too much here in North Carolina, but I know some of you down south have really got hit hard, so hope you guys are all safe. But yeah, when I brought this car home, you guys, it needed a lot of work in terms of like detail. My OCD was just flying off of the charts. So I went to work, man. I just immediately started working on the paint, ceramic coating, and then also we did some work on the interior. I'll show that to you guys. The interior of this car was really bad too because there were just car parts laying inside of this thing all over the place. Needed a very, very thorough detail. There were some things that were just so bad in this car that I threw them away and I just ordered new stuff. So I ordered all new OEM floor mats. I ordered the ZHP shift knob. I ordered the BMW Alcantara shift boot, all OEM. And then I have a custom steering wheel on the way that should be here this coming week. And we'll do some more things. I might even replace all of the vents because they're just showing a lot of wear around here. I'd like to just have like a fresh, brand new OEM setup in here that looks really good. I'm undecided as to whether I want to run some nicer seats in this car, like some Recaros or something. I don't quite know what I want to do yet, but I will make that judgment call down the road. Interior is much better now, in fantastic shape. And overall, everything is looking really good, man. Really, really good. Let me show you guys what we have going on in the engine bay because it looks a whole lot different in there now as well. We put in the work. I also ordered new grills for the front because those were in rough shape. Oh, look at this, dude. It's a complete engine bay, complete car. Like, I just can't believe I'm standing in front of this car right now and it's complete and we're driving it. It's just amazing to me. It was completely in shambles and we just brought it back to life. I'm just super proud of it, you guys. It took a lot of work, but we got it to the point where everyone's really, really happy with it. So yeah, it's not looking too bad in here. There are some things that are going to change. Obviously, the catch can setup is going to be completely different. And then, of course, on this side, I'm going to be running the Doc Race intake manifold with the port injection. So this is all going to look a lot different. The charge pipe setup is going to change. And then, of course, the coolant tank reservoir is going to be moving over here with the Turner kit. So that'll look a lot different. There are going to be a lot of things that change, but I'm going to try and make individual videos for all of that stuff so you guys can sort of follow along. But she's together, man. She's together and she's running really good. I'm so proud of it, man. I've just been driving the crap out of this thing and I'm so happy with it so far. It's a really clean example of a 135 and it's just going to get better and better. So what I want to do now is I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the BAYOPTIKS headlights and show you the features and kind of what we did. Before we do that, I want to mention that there is going to be a separate video where I sort of give you guys a tutorial on how to use the Headlights app and what to code out. It's not going to be in this video because that is going to take a lot of time and I don't want this to be like an hour-long video, and that really will be more specific for people who are actually buying these headlights and doing this conversion. I know not everyone is interested in that. Some of you are just here for 135 updates. So keep an eye out for that video coming up soon, but let me show you guys the settings that I have right now on the car that I think look really good. And this is the reason that I bought these headlights and customized them so I could change the colors. All right, turn the car on real quick here to show you guys. Not used to having to put a key in the actual car. So there are a couple of errors here that you guys are gonna see. We got the brake pad sensor that we need to replace. We're actually doing a full brake refresh kit, so I'm getting new rotors, new pads, new sensors, new fluid, all that stuff. So all of this is going to completely change. That'll be gone. You also see the TPMS sensor light that's on. That'll also be changing. I actually ordered a set of wheels just for the time being for the stock body. I'm going to show you guys kind of what I would do with this car if it were a stock body 135 before I go to the wide 1M version. And then the check engine light up here, this dumb thing is on just because of my air temp sensor. I can't find the plug for my actual air temp sensor. It's somewhere in there, or it got chopped off when we did the swap. And so if worse comes to worse, I'm just gonna coat it out, but currently the car thinks it's 122 degrees outside. So that's the only reason that we have a check engine light. We've ran codes numerous times. So that should bring you up to speed there. Let's show you guys the lights. So this is gonna be like the most OEM looking setup on this car. They're kind of yellow. They're like a darker yellow. Kind of hard to tell on camera, but I'm gonna throw up some images so you guys can see. I took some photos. I really like this setup. This looks very period specific. It looks very OEM. But yeah, I think, in my opinion, this is like the best looking setup on this car. It looks really freaking good. So the way that you do all of this is pretty easy. And like I said, we're gonna have a designated video for this. You guys can really see how to do it. But you just bring up the app for the headlights. And what you're able to do is go in here and you can actually change the color of everything. You can change the color of the rings. You can change the color of the switchbacks. You can change the functions of them. But what we'll do is I've really had to finesse an interesting setup to get it to this point. This slider right here is basically the brightness. So I brought the brightness way down so they would almost look kind of dim, which gave this more of like a period specific look. I think it looks freaking awesome. Like, this is the perfect setup for me. If I take the brightness slider, see they get really, really bright. So the reason I bring them down a little bit is I just think that they look a lot more period specific, for one, and they look better in photos, because if you bring them all the way up, it just gets washed out. And then of course you can make them any color you want. So if you want to do like white, super bright, you can do that. Of course, you can do all the corny colors if you want. But that's really not why I bought these headlights. Bought them because I wanted to be able to do that. And I just think that looks really freaking good, man. I really just think they're sleek looking, but they have the nice blacked out housings, and then of course the carbon switchbacks up top. I'm currently not running the actual switchbacks just because, in my opinion, they look a little bit too aftermarket for me. And that wasn't the purpose of building out these headlights. I wanted something that, like, as you guys know, is just very OEM. So this is where I've landed, and I really like it. So when the turn signals are on, the only things that blink are the actual ambers on the side, and they're very dim. I'll turn them on so I can show you guys. But in the beginning, when we first put these headlights on, we had a lot of weird stuff going on, a lot of like flickering, and I had realized that, oh, I had an old battery in the car. So I had to buy a new battery, which fixed everything. We had some weird voltage drops. So this is really all that's happening when the cautions are on, and it looks freaking good, man. It looks really freaking good. So I am very, very happy with this setup. This is exactly what I was going for. I think the white and the amber both look really good. It's just a preference of whatever you're looking for. If you want white, it's a little more modern. If you want the yellow, it's a little more period specific. But yeah, overall, man, having a blast with this car. Really, really enjoying the build process and everything, and it just looks so much better now. So much better. We got some wheels coming this week. We'll throw those on, and it's gonna look like a whole new car. All right, so that should bring you guys up to speed with where we are at with the 135 so far. Everything is looking really good. The car is driving really well. Gonna try and get a lot done this week. New steering wheel, the new wheels and tires, and a lot of little stuff that I need to do. Figure out that air temp sensor, probably work on the coolant reservoir, whatever else shows up in the mail. But so far, so good. This is the second video that we've made on the car, and the thing is already home and already looking fantastic. I know not everybody can relate to doing an actual OEM wide body 1M build, so we're gonna do some content while it's a stock body 135. I have a couple of partners sending me parts for the stock body, and so I'll try to build this car out in the next couple of weeks here to what I would do if I had a stock body 135 before we start chopping fenders and going wide to the 1M version, because once we go to that, we can't go back, and it's going to be a completely different build, but it's going to be badass. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you following along. Seems like a lot of you are really into the 135 and N54 content. This is all new to me, but I'm really enjoying it. I just love taking a car that came from nothing and building it into something. There's just something about that process that makes me really proud and excited, and I'm sure that you guys can probably resonate with that. But that is going to wrap this one up. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching the videos. Peace.